She had 15 minutes, 6 products, one zippered case smaller than a paperback novel. Every morning before dawn, she walked into a hotel bathroom, looking exhausted. She walked out looking flawless. No tutorials, no filters, and no $40 serums. Just a routine so effective, the entire beauty industry had to bury it. Because if women still knew these tricks, a $300 billion market would collapse overnight. These are 15 beauty tricks that every 1950s stewardess used to get flight ready in 15 minutes flat. Every single one of them is gone. And they were not replaced by something better. They were replaced by something more profitable. A 15-minute routine built on 6 products became a 90-minute routine requiring 40. Not because faces changed, because profit margins did. Number 15. A 4-step lipstick method that kept a red lip intact through 14 hours of pressurized cabin air, turbulence, and 800 cups of coffee served with a smile. Revlon released Fire and Ice in 1952. A deep scarlet in a gold tube that cost about $1.10 at the drugstore. Airlines mandated red, not pink, not coral, red. The stewardess applied from the tube, blotted once with a single tissue, dusted translucent powder over the blot, then applied a second coat. 4 layers. Pigment, set, seal, pigment. The technique was borrowed from theater makeup artists who needed stage lips to survive 3-hour performances under hot lights. But a stewardess needed hers to last nearly 5 times longer. She could not reapply in front of passengers because that would break the illusion of effortlessness. So the morning application had to hold from boarding to final deplaning. That blotted tissue in the hotel wastebasket held a lip print the color of discipline. The mouth did the work and the tissue held the proof. The lip was always last. The ritual started 10 minutes earlier, and it started with the oldest jar in the case. Number 14. A single jar of cold cream that served as cleanser, moisturizer, and makeup primer all in one step, all in under a minute. Pond's cold cream came in a white glass jar with a green metal lid. It cost about 35 cents at the drugstore. The technique came straight from training school. Smooth the cream on in upward spirals. Pay attention to the creases at the nose and the cleft of the chin. Tissue off in long single-direction sweeps. Switch to a clean spot on the tissue after each pass so you do not track the grime right back again. No 12-step routine, no vitamin C serum, no hyaluronic acid. 1 jar, 1 tissue, done. That jar lasted 2 months on a stewardess salary of $255 a month. She could get her face clean, moisturized, and ready to accept foundation in 60 seconds flat. She had done it 600 times before breakfast. Mastery does not come from products. It comes from repetition. The face was prepped, but the hair had been done hours ago. It had been done the night before. Number 13. A hair styling method where damp hair was wound into flat coils against the scalp, pinned with bobby pins, and left overnight to set without heat. Bobby pins came on a card for a few cents at the 5 and dime. Goody brand, black enamel, slightly crimped. The stewardess washed her hair after her last flight, toweled it damp, and wound small sections into tight spirals flat against her head. Each curl was pinned with 2 crossed bobby pins. 20 to 30 curls total. A silk scarf tied over the whole thing. She slept on it. By morning, the curls had dried into structured waves. She brushed them out in under 2 minutes. The waves held through a full day of cabin pressure and humidity changes that would destroy any modern blowout. No hairspray can did that. No curling iron did that. The pillow and the clock did the work. She went to bed looking like a woman getting ready for tomorrow, because she was. The preparation started the night before the world saw the result. That used to be called Discipline. Now it is called unnecessary. Hair set. Face cleansed. The next step was the foundation, and it came straight from Hollywood. Number 12. A water-activated cake foundation originally developed for Technicolor film sets that became a popular baseline standard for stewardesses across major American airlines. Max Factor Pancake Makeup. A round compact, slightly heavier than a powder. You dampened a natural sea sponge, not soaking, just misting, and swirled it across the surface. The pigment transferred in a thin, matte, even layer that looked like skin, not makeup. Stewardesses were expected to wear makeup on every flight, but the rules were precise. The look had to be natural and refined. One cake lasted months. One application lasted a full duty day. That sea sponge required a feel you only got from doing it 500 times. No tutorial taught it. Your hands taught it. A woman whose hands knew the right dampness of a sponge could get a flawless base in 45 seconds. Today, a 14-minute foundation routine is considered fast. The base was set. But there was still one part of the uniform more scrutinized than anything else, and it started at the ankle. Number 11. A two-person verification method for ensuring the seam on the back of nylon stockings ran perfectly, straight from heel to thigh. Seamed stockings from Hanes or Berkshire cost roughly $1 a pair in the mid-50s, real nylon, not the stretch blends that came later. The seam ran up the back of the calf like a plumb line. A crooked seam was a write-up. In the crew lounge, one girl would stand while another knelt behind her and straightened the seam from ankle to knee with 2 fingers, or you used 2 mirrors angled to see your own back. A 1/4 inch off and the supervisor sent you back to fix it. While on duty, every stewardess was required to wear a girdle and carry extra nylons at all times. The airline expected perfection from hem to heel. 2 women in a crew lounge, one kneeling to straighten the other's stocking seam. That is not subservience. That is cooperation. 2 professionals helping each other meet a standard that would not bend. That kind of teamwork had a name back then. They called it getting ready together. 5 tricks gone already. Notice what they share. Not one required electricity. Not one came from an influencer. Every one of them was taught by another woman in a crew lounge, a training school, or a shared hotel room at 4 in the morning. The knowledge was handed across, not sold from above. Today, the average woman follows between 5 and 10 beauty accounts online, each one selling something different, each one contradicting the last. In 1957, the entire beauty education a stewardess needed came from the woman standing at the next mirror. Number 10. A thin film of petroleum jelly applied to the front teeth to prevent the upper lip from catching during 8 hours of mandatory smiling. A tiny tin of Vaseline, 5 cents at any drugstore. 1 fingertip swiped across the front teeth only. The lip glided over the enamel without sticking. Cabin air was bone dry. 8 hours of smiling with dry lips on dry teeth created a friction that pulled the upper lip and made the smile look strained. The Vaseline eliminated the catch entirely, and the smile stayed smooth all day. Pageant contestants learned this trick from stewardesses, not the other way around. Some girls applied it twice during a shift, once before boarding and once at the midway point during a galley break. The whole process took 3 seconds. She was told to smile for 8 hours straight, so she found a way to make it physically possible without her face fighting against her. That is not vanity. That is engineering applied to the human face. The smile was handled, but the hands were just as visible, and they had their own protocol. Number 9. A nightly hand treatment of lemon juice for brightening and glycerin for softening, followed by white cotton gloves worn to bed. Hands were part of the uniform. Airlines expected stewardesses to maintain soft, lightly manicured hands at all times. The treatment was simple: half a lemon squeezed into a dish, mixed with a spoonful of glycerin from the pharmacy, about 20 cents a bottle, rubbed into the hands, the cuticles, the knuckles. White cotton gloves pulled on over the mixture. She slept in them. By morning, the hands were soft enough to pass the supervisor's inspection. Nails filed round, never pointed. Only pale pink or clear polish was permitted. Those hands would serve 700 passengers that week. Pour coffee, hand out pillows, demonstrate a life vest. They had to look like they had never worked a day. And the trick to that was working on them every single night without fail. A woman whose hands betrayed fatigue betrayed the entire illusion. So she treated them the way a musician treats an instrument, with quiet nightly devotion that nobody ever saw. Number 8. A small rectangular compact of pressed mascara activated by wetting a tiny brush and stroking it across the cake. The only lash product most stewardesses ever used. The Maybelline compact was black, about the size of a matchbook. The brush was a stiff miniature spiral barely 1 inch long. You held it under the faucet for 1 second, not dripping, just damp, then swept it across the cake in short strokes until the bristles loaded. Applied from root to tip in 1 upward pass per eye. The mascara dried fast and stayed put. No clumping, no flaking. 1 compact lasted 6 months and cost less than 50 cents. There were no waterproof formulas, no volumizing promises, no lengthening fibers, just pigment that adhered to the lash and held its shape in dry cabin air. 1 compact, 1 brush, 10 seconds per eye. She did not need 17 options on a drugstore shelf. She needed it to work. And it did. Because the formula was designed to last, not to be replaced every 6 weeks with a newer version. Number 7. A brow shaping technique using a hard wax pencil applied in tiny strokes that mimicked individual hairs, following the natural arch, not drawn on, built up. An ebony or Maybelline eyebrow pencil sharpened to a fine point with a single blade sharpener. The technique taught at training school was firm, never a single drawn line. Short upward strokes, each one mimicking a single brow hair, layered from the inner corner to the tail. The pencil was hard, not soft like modern brow products, so it held its point through dozens of strokes. The result was a defined but natural arch that read clearly from 6 feet away. That was the distance between the stewardess and the passenger looking up from his seat. The brow was the frame. Every portrait painter knows the frame matters more than people think. These women painted their own frame 1 stroke at a time. The beauty industry now sells brow kits with 6 separate components: pomade, gel, powder, pencil, spoolie, setting wax. The pencil did it alone, and it did it better. That 15-cent pencil outperformed every modern kit on the market. Number 6. A homemade facial spray of rose water and glycerin carried in a small glass atomizer used mid-flight to fight the extreme dryness of pressurized cabin air. Rose water from the pharmacy, about 25 cents, mixed with a few drops of glycerin. Poured into a glass perfume atomizer, the kind with the woven bulb you squeeze. Between service rounds, she stepped behind the galley curtain and misted her face from 8 inches away. Eyes closed. 2 pumps. The glycerin pulled moisture from the mist into the skin. The rose water kept the pancake from cracking under harsh cabin conditions. No product on any shelf today replicates this because no product uses both ingredients this simply and this cheaply. She made it herself in the hotel bathroom the night before. No brand name, no label, no influencer code for 10% off. Just a woman solving a problem with 2 ingredients and a bottle she brought from home. That used to be called resourcefulness. The beauty industry calls it a gap in the market. 10 tricks deep. And here is something worth sitting with. Every single product mentioned so far, the cold cream, lipstick, pancake, mascara, pencil, rosewater, glycerin, Vaseline, bobby pins, and lemon juice, could be purchased together for under $5 in 1957. Adjusted for inflation, that is roughly $55. The average American woman today spends over $3,000 a year on beauty and personal care products. The entire Stewardess kit fit inside a zippered case the size of a paperback book. Because elegance was not an industry yet, it was a skill passed between women who could not afford to be late. Number 5. A mandatory fitted foundation garment worn beneath the uniform. Not just for silhouette, but because it fundamentally changed how a woman stood, walked, and moved through a narrow aircraft aisle. The grooming checklist at American Airline Stewardess Training School mandated a well-fitted girdle along with fresh lingerie daily. Brands like Playtex, Maidenform, and Formfit, about $3 to $5. Boned panels, hook and eye closures, garter tabs at the thigh. It held the stocking tops and it held the posture. You could not slouch in one. Your lower back stayed straight. Your core stayed engaged. Supervisors did not suggest it. They inspected for it. The girdle was not comfortable, but the woman who wore one walked differently. She stood differently. She carried a tray of drinks through turbulence differently. The garment imposed a physical standard that the body memorized over weeks of wear. Long after the girdle came off, the posture stayed. The discipline outlived the device. The body was held. The face was set. But between flights, the whole thing had to be refreshed. And she had exactly 3 minutes to do it. Number 4. A rapid 3-minute full-face touch-up performed between flights using loose powder, a compact mirror, and a clean cotton puff. Coty Air Spun Loose Face Powder, a cardboard drum with a plastic lid. The scent of it, old-fashioned floral, vaguely violet, is still identical today if you find it on a bottom shelf at the drugstore. It cost roughly $1 in the 1950s. The technique was fast. Press a clean cotton puff into the powder. Tap off the excess. Press, not sweep, across the forehead, nose, and chin. Blot the lipstick with a tissue. Check the compact mirror. 1 pass of the brow pencil along the tail. Snap the compact shut. Done. 3 minutes between deplaning and reboarding. The whole refresh happened in a crew lounge bathroom with 5 other women doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. That drum of Coty Air Spun outlasted 4 uniforms. The same powder a grandmother used in 1954 is still manufactured today. Same formula, same scent, sitting on the bottom shelf where nobody looks. The beauty industry put it there on purpose. It works too long and costs too little. Number 3, and this one costs nothing at all. An ice-cold water splash applied to the face before any product touched the skin. The very first physical step of the 15-minute morning ritual. Before the cold cream, before the sponge, before anything. She ran the hotel tap to its coldest setting and splashed her face 6 to 8 times. The shock temporarily tightened the skin, constricted blood vessels to reduce puffiness from sleep or altitude, and made pores look smaller. Some women kept a metal spoon in the hotel ice bucket overnight and pressed the backs of the cold spoons under each eye for 30 seconds. No serum, no jade roller, no battery-powered device, just water temperature and the back of a spoon. The redness faded in 2 minutes. What was left was a taut, smooth canvas ready for the pancake. Cold water, a spoon, and the willingness to start the day with a shock. She did not ease into the morning. She met it. That ritual was not about beauty. It was about waking up completely and showing up fully present before the first passenger ever saw her face. Number 2. A strictly enforced limit on perfume. Exactly 2 small dabs, applied to the insides of the wrists only. Wearing perfume was expected, but the amount and type were carefully controlled. Training schools taught the rule: 2 dabs. Inside the left wrist, inside the right. Press them together gently. Nothing behind the ears, nothing on the neck, nothing in the hair. The cabin was a sealed tube at altitude, and heavy fragrance nauseated passengers. The approved scents were light florals. Chanel No. 5 in small quantities. Muguet des Bois by Coty. Yardley English Lavender. A 2-ounce bottle lasted months because you were only permitted 2 points of contact. The scent was meant to be discovered, not announced. You caught it only when she handed you a glass or reached for your coat. A woman who wore perfume that way understood something the modern world has forgotten. Restraint is its own kind of elegance. The most memorable presence in a room is the one you almost missed. And number 1, a heated bobby pin used as a makeshift eyelash curler that set the curl faster and longer than any mechanical tool on the market. She struck a match and held the flame under an opened bobby pin for 3 seconds. She blew it out, waited 2 beats, then pressed the warm metal against her upper lashes while guiding them upward with her thumb. The heat locked the curl in place instantly. No mechanical curler left that kind of hold. No battery-powered tool existed yet. Just a bobby pin, a match, and a hand steady enough to bring a flame near her own eye without flinching. The curl lasted the entire flight. Through cabin pressure changes, dry recycled air, and 14 hours of service. Most modern curlers lose their hold by lunch. Hers held past dinner. She learned it from a senior stewardess in a hotel bathroom in Chicago. That woman learned it from a theater actress in New York. The trick moved woman to woman, hand to hand, mirror to mirror. It was never written down. It was never sold. It simply traveled the way useful things used to, through trust. That is the trick that vanished, not a product. The ritual, the repetition, and the belief that looking your best was a daily act of respect. Nobody sold her that belief. She learned it from the woman at the next mirror. If you want more forgotten wisdom, the next video is waiting right now.